Good evening, ladies and gents, and I've been meaning to get round to this one for a while. There isn't any of our original location left, I'm afraid, nowadays, but we will be going back into the past a little bit. Going to be visiting the Sydney Street Siege. So here we go. This is, of course, Sydney Street, and there we have Siege House, which is approximately where our location was. So right, let's get down to Siege House, get my phone out, give you a bit of the info. Alright. The Siege of Sydney Street. Bear with me one moment. It started on the 3rd of January 1911. Siege of Sydney Street. January 1911, also known as the Battle of Stepney, was a gunfight in the East End of London between a combined police and army force and two Latvian revolutionaries. The siege was a culmination of a series of events that began in December 1910 with an attempted jewellery robbery at Houndsditch in the City of London by a gang of Latvian immigrants, which resulted in the murder of 3 policemen and the wounding of 2 others, and the death of George Gardstein, the leader of the Latvian gang. Give me a minute. An investigation by Metropolitan and City of London police forces identified Gardstein's accomplices, most of whom were arrested within 2 weeks. The police were informed that the last 2 members of the gang were hiding at number 100 Sydney Street in Stepney. The police evacuated local residents, and on the morning of the 3rd of January a firefight broke out. Armed with inferior weapons, the police sought assistance from the army. The siege lasted for about 6 hours. Towards the end of the standoff, the building caught fire. No single cause has been identified. One of the agitators in the building was shot before the fire spread, while the London Fire Brigade were damping down the ruins, in which they found 2 bodies. The building collapsed, killing a fireman. The siege marked the first time the police had requested military assistance in London to deal with an armed standoff. It was also the first siege in Britain to be caught on camera, and we're going to see that soon, as the events were filmed by Pathé News. Some of the footage, including images of the Home Secretary, Sir Winston Churchill as he was then, his presence caused a political row over the level of his operational involvement. At the trial in May 1911 of those arrested for the Houndsditch jewellery robbery, all but one of the accused were acquitted. The conviction was overturned on the appeal. The events were fictionalised in the film The Man Who Knew Too Much, 1934, and The Siege of Sydney Street in 1960, and novels. On the centenary of the events, 2 tower blocks in Sydney Street were named after Peter the Painter, one of the minor members of the gang who was probably not present at either Houndsditch or Sydney Street, the murdered policeman, and after a fireman who died, and they are commemorated with memorial plaques. Right, so I'll pause you for a moment. We are in Sydney Square Gardens, which is at the end of Sydney Street. This garden was funded by the Tower Hamlets Inner Area Programme and the London Borough of Tower Hamlets. It was reopened by His Worship the Mayor, Councillor R.W. Askettle, with the Mayoress, Mrs. B. Askettle, on the 7th of May 1985. I don't know if these plaques are somewhere else in here or whatnot, but you can't always rely on Wikipedia for its reliability, for its information. That may have just been the one plaque, or there could be another one at this tree over here. I think there may be. Yeah, as it said, it was the first such siege caught on camera. And once I finish my little bit of the video, that's what we're going to be seeing. So it's a now and then big time boom boom, as they say. Someone asked me a while ago, are you going to do the Sydney Street siege? And it was a good while ago, probably when I first started the page, I think. And I said, yeah, I'll get round to doing that. And here we are, I've got round to doing it. And it does look as if there was another plaque here, but it's gone. So there we are. Sydney Square, we are on at the moment. There will be more information in the description of this, so have a good read of that if that's your cup of rosy lee, as they say. As we are now coming towards the next part of our video, which will be done by me at home, bit of editing, and I am quite knackered, so I'm off home. Give you a little pan around that once more, and you're seeing here an old Georgian street as it would have been pretty much years ago, apart from the modern amenities and things like that. Sydney Square, and that, my dears, what you can hear is the London Hospital air ambulance up there taking off. Off that goes. Right, ladies and gents, and now we're all off into the past. January 1911.